My wife keeps accusing me of secret calls and plots, then told me she'd choke me on the drive home. For 2 months, my wife has acted like someone I don't recognize. She brings up things she says are happening, but they've never happened. We have 2 little kids, and the house feels tense every day. When this started, I convinced her to go to the hospital. She checked in, but no doctor saw her. They told her to take a sleep medicine and go home. She also smokes weed and says it helps her relax. The label says not to mix, but she won't quit. I ask her to see a real doctor. She says doctors are part of it now. Then she began talking about an old email with a secret inheritance. She says it got hacked, and someone locked her out to keep her poor. I tried to help her sign in. She hasn't used that email in the 12 years we've been together. She said that proved someone is blocking her. She also says people are talking about her, not just a few, everyone. She says there's a plan to hurt her and that I know about it. She watches my face like a lie detector and asks for the truth again and again. Some days she asks about a show she says we're on and asks how much they pay me to keep a secret. She says I sneak off to take calls and come back crying. I don't take secret calls. When I tell her none of this is real, she says I'm lying because I'm scared. She says if I don't say the truth, something bad will happen. I suggest counseling. She says counselors collect stories and sell them. Work fell apart next. She stopped going in and kept going to the police to make reports. Her job fired her for not showing up. Then her workplace called for a wellness check. Cops came to our door while I was home. She told them she wouldn't hurt anyone and would only act in defense. They left and told me to keep an eye on her. She said I'm the one they should watch. In the last weeks, she went from yelling to silence. I miss her, but the quiet feels easier than the fights. Today, I tried one more normal thing. It was sunny, so I asked if she wanted to walk with the kids. She said fine and barely spoke. At a small playground, I asked if the kids could play for a few minutes. She snapped that I try to control everything and called me the king of decisions. I said it was a question, not an order. She said to do whatever I want, like always. So I helped our kids climb and go down the slide. The slide was hot from the sun. The chains on the swings squeaked. One kid asked me to push him higher. Then she threw a football hard. It flew past me by a couple feet. I asked why she did that. She said I shouldn't be upset because it didn't hit me. I asked what if it did. She said if she wanted it to hit my head, she would have thrown it different. Then she started again about people lying to her. She sat in the far corner of the park and stared at nothing. I started to get angry. I put the balls back by the bench. I wiped little hands and packed snacks and water into the stroller basket. I said we're going home and started walking. The kids followed me. She took a different path. She says she called out, but I didn't hear her. Near our street, she cut across and met us. She told me next time I want to act like an idiot and walk away, I should stop and listen for her calling. I wanted to argue, but the kids were dragging their feet and needed water. I said I was going to get coffee. She said fine. I said I'd take the kids. I said never mind, she could stay with them. She said no, they could go with me, and started buckling them in. I got into the driver's seat. She got into the passenger seat. I asked if she was coming. She told me to drive. I told her I didn't want her with me because she was being mean. She said she could be a lot meaner. As I pulled onto the road, she kept on with the news stories. The seatbelts clicked. A sippy cup rolled under my seat. The light turned red and she told me not to stop. I said I don't want to hear it. She raised her voice and told me to drive and be quiet. I stopped the car and told her to get out. She leaned toward me like she was going to swing and punched her own hand inches from my face. The sound made the kids flinch. I started to cry and told her to get out of the car. She shouted no and to just drive. I said I should take her to the police for that. She said she'd choke me out before we got there. My throat felt tight. I said I don't want to be with her if this is how it is, and I want her out. She said no. I asked her not to talk like this in front of our kids. She said not to bring them into it. I said they're in the car. They stared at us from their seats and waited for us to stop. I drove us home in silence. In the driveway, she asked how long I've been waiting to break up with her and who I'm replacing her with. I said I'm not, and there is no one else. She didn't believe me. Now my family is saying I'm cold for asking her to leave. Am I wrong?